it's been a wild month for us sports wise with your Eagles going on a little bit of a skunk.
Yeah, we're coming to the second last week. Usually, like we just said, this is usually the last week. If it was a couple years ago, this would be the last week of regular season. But now there's an extra week.
Now it's penultimate, so there are a lot of very critical games
Oh yeah.
this weekend. And it starts tonight. So if you guys don't know, we're recording this on Saturday. So we have the Lions and Cowboys,
Mm-hmm.
which could mean massive seeding implications there,
Which
especially if
actually I didn't
Dallas.
know that the Eagles actually. If I'm an Eagle, they say if I'm a real Eagles fan, I'd prefer
Yeah,
Dallas to win tonight. Where I said no, fuck that. But
no, I mean you got to clinch that division. I
it's
would
it's
definitely.
for the number one seed. We would need the Lions to lose supposedly. But if we want the division, we would need the Cowboys to lose. So I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
I think as long as you have a home playoff game, yeah, I think you're good to go.
Yeah. I don't know how much you're. I know you guys and the Ravens are like neck and neck right now.
This is to decide probably the number one seed.
Yeah,
I will say this.
you guys are facing each other.
Yeah.
This is it Sunday night or Monday?
It is Sunday at 1. They
Oh,
did not flex
oh wow, really?
this game. Yes,
So they'll
that
flex
was
our game to the Seahawks with a backup quarterback, but not the two top number one teams going in the AFC
no,
right now.
no. But I will say this: I was definitely disappointed that Iron Eagle is announcing the game. It is going to be nationally televised, but
It is.
yes. Fun fact: when Kevin Harlan announces a Dolphins game, Tua is 6-0,
They
and
got a stat for everything.
we did not get Kevin Harlan. I think he is doing another big uh, game in the AFC. I can't remember, but man, I missed you. I missed talking about
Yeah,
our teams.
hard around the holidays. You know how it is.
Exactly, life happens, but I guess we can go back to the Black Friday game
Yeah,
where
you guys beat
where
the Jets 34-13.
34-13. They kind of have had us on our heels a little bit, but that Holland 99-yard INT when Tua hit that pick six, that was wild, and I think that's definitely one of the reasons why we ended up pulling away. And so I was very happy the way that we finished that game off.
The
Mostert,
Jets are only in the season. The Jets only have some life. I really feel like because of their defense.
yeah,
I
and
mean, that's what beat us. I mean, this is what this whole season is very weird to me. Any team can be beaten this year.
yeah,
It's not like there's a team that seems unstoppable. The only closest team that seemed unstoppable lost last week. So
and they got walloped. To
yeah,
be honest,
and they
to be
got
honest.
destroyed just like the Eagles did when they played the Niners.
Yeah,
Every team can they have a bad game. I mean, and they're just a regular football team at the end of the day. I mean, look at how bad the Chiefs look. The Chiefs, to me, don't look anywhere
they
near where they looked last year. And I mean, we are in the same boat, but I think they look worse than we do. So
this is crazy to me. This is going to be the first time Patrick Mahomes is going to go on the road in the playoffs.
on the road in the
On
playoffs,
the road in the playoffs,
wow.
he's had a number one seed throughout his playoffs, or has hosted a home playoff game.
And do you think, before we get into your side of what that's happened the last couple of weeks, do you think home field advantage is a big deal in the playoffs? Like, do you think it's a big deal to clinch the first seed? Because we've seen where teams like the Giants years back have been wild cards and went all the way and won the Super Bowl. Do you really think it's that important right now, how much they're hyping up the number one seed for home field
Hey,
advantage?
honestly, I think it is. I think because there are some places I don't want to play in the AFC wise. You have Arrowhead. You never want to play there. And then you
especially
have
postseason.
yeah,
Look at
exactly.
the Bengals. The Bengals were this close.
Yeah. Um, and then you have Buffalo, which Miami almost did that last year with a backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like there is that plays an important part of a really good Super Bowl run. Um, and if we'll get into this, but if you're the Cleveland Browns, Flacco's looking really good. I don't want to play Cleveland.
You want to know a crazy stat about Flacco that I just saw on the internet?
What is it?
He needs 72 yards to pass Johnny Manziel for the passing yard record in Cleveland franchise history. He only needs 72 more yards to break Manziel's.
He's only been on the team for like weeks.
And that's how bad Johnny Manziel was. He was there for a couple years. So he'll be, I think he said 31st.
Oh my God.
He only needs 72 yards to pass his record for franchise in the Cleveland Browns quarterback passing yards.
That's wild.
And
that is.
So let me look at this real quick. I feel like the Dolphins are not talked about enough. They're always talking about the other teams.
If they are, they're talked about. Oh, they're not really that great. Oh, congratulations!
And this isn't
Dallas.
This isn't biased. This isn't just Eagles and Dolphins podcast. Like, it's our favorite, but I'm going to tell you, the Niners are better than us right now. I get that as a whole. If we had better coaching, I feel like we'd be great. But before I get into my side, because I said I'm not going to do that.
If I'm being quite honest with you, that game in October, if we were all healthy, I really do think we could have beat you guys. I am fully, very fully aware.
Yeah, but that's how we've been all year. We've been hurt all year. But we're finally getting Avonte Maddox back this week.
Yeah.
That is a huge upgrade for us on D-back.
Oh, yeah.
Cunningham's coming back. Leonard Dickerson is coming back. The linebacker we just signed, oh my God, Shaq. What was his name? Bradley?
Shaquille, is it Leonard? No, it's not.
The linebacker, Jesus.
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
The one that kept going back and forth between us and Dallas.
Yes.
He fucking snapped last week. He played great.
Oh, yeah.
He was all over the field last week, even with injuries. But, all the pieces are there next week. There's no excuses. We're playing Arizona. We have to win out to try to get first seed. We got we lost 3 games in a row, and I don't know why, but it's just what happened. We're not the same as last year. You can keep saying it. Last year's the past. You got to focus on this year, yada, yada. But the Dolphins, to me, I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Dolphins as a whole look better than the Eagles right now. But
really?
But
what's the but?
In crunch time decisions, fourth quarter or when they count, I feel like the Eagles are better at that when they need to score or when they need to come back.
I will say this.
You guys don't wait. You go all. I feel like you guys go all in straight ahead, right away.
Yeah, we rarely have had to really.
We're a slow start team. I feel like.
Yeah.
You guys got Hill. You got I think Waddle. Is Waddle out for the season now? I thought he got hurt last week.
Waddle's out probably for a couple weeks, maybe.
So you definitely want the first seed.
Oh yeah,
Ramsey's questionable again.
Ramsey's questionable, but I think he'll be fine. That Jets-Dolphins game on Black Friday, Jalen Phillips got injured. Literally, same injury as Aaron Rodgers.
You guys also signed Julius Peppers.
Yes, yeah.
And he's a Hall of Fame finalist this year.
Yeah.
14 years.
And it's a damn shame because that kid was having a monster season, and I think he really could have made an impact down the stretch like Ramsey has. The numbers are there. We're the number 1 defense in the league since Ramsey has came back. So
Number one
Ramsey
defense
is
as
that.
overall or yards
Yeah,
allowed
overall,
or
overall. I at least I feel like, but I mean, it's
also
there.
I do remember our last episode now because you know why? You told me and Bruce from the other podcast that you
Yeah,
would score 45 points or at
I,
least 40 points on the Commanders. And
yes.
and god damn it, did you not say that right? On December 3rd at Washington Commanders FedEx Field, the Dolphins beat them 45-15. That is the
I
last
told
time we
you.
had a discussion. But after
Listen,
that big win, you guys played Tennessee at home and you lost by one
uh,
point.
that was
What kind of
that was
what do you feel like about that game? Like what happened there? How did you blow out the Commanders, but then at home you lost to the Titans?
I
Titans, they're one
honestly,
of those weird teams, man. Like they can sneak
you're
up on
right.
you. Like they on paper they suck, and like they don't have a complete team. You know, they've lost their rebuilding. They've traded a lot of players away. Henry is possibly his last year there this year, is what they're saying.
Yeah,
Um,
I
uh,
mean,
it's
there
just
are
they fight. They fight for what they are, you
they,
know.
they do, and Will Levis looked amazing, honestly, in that game,
And
and
he's back
it's
this
like,
week too, by the way.
yeah, that game, I need you're up, you're up 14 points with less than 3 minutes to go, and they couldn't get anything going. I mean, it was, and I knew when Levis had the ball, they would ended up finding a way to score, and I mean, it was a loss, but there were a lot of things that were missed in that game. Tua missed a critical throw to, I think it was either Tyreek or Waddle.
Overthrown.
Yeah,
Really?
it was a bad route, and Tua had him deep
They
or
said he's
down
been
the
doing
middle.
that a lot here recently. That's why he's getting some more shade too.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, he made up for it last week. I think, or the
Yes.
week before. I
So
can't remember.
it's crazy to me because you guys, when you win, you win big, but
Yeah,
when you lose, you you seem like you don't lose by a lot.
if you're not counting Buffalo in week
Well,
4, I
well,
think.
that's when I'm scrolling down here. You lost by 1 point. You know, you won 45-15. You won 34-13. You know, but then you lost to the Chiefs by a touchdown. But you know that was a little weird game, anyways. That was like
Yeah,
that was what game was that? That wasn't
that was in Germany.
yeah. So you know you never know with those stadium and it's a different feeling. Patriots
Um,
31-17. You beat the Cowboys. Thank you, Jesus. I was the biggest Dolphins fan that night.
listen, last
22 to
last
20. I had a
last week,
feeling, you know, you guys were gonna lose, but I'm so happy you didn't.
my blood was rushing because my cousin is a Cowboys fan, big time, and we were at Christmas dinner, and we were driving because I had to, watch the game while we're driving,
Right.
and I think the Cowboys were driving. They ended up scoring that touchdown, and I'm like, and I said, my uncle's like, would you rather have the ball or play defense? And I said to him, if Tua wants to make himself like an MVP type player, this is what he needs to do. This is what I mean. This is his drive, and he
Yeah.
did that. And
Hmm.
if you saw, I don't know if you've seen the Hard Knocks yet with Miami.
I haven't. I honestly keep forgetting it's a thing going on.
Yeah, this past week's episode, there were that drive. Mike McDaniel goes up to Tua. He's like, "What are we going to call?" And then Tua said, "I got this. We're going to Tyreek." And he called it. Tyreek had man in motion. I think it was 3rd and 2, and on a big play. And Tyreek ended up getting like, it was when, I don't know if you saw the game, he was motioning, and then Tua switched over, said, "Man, man, man," and uh, Tyreek ended up getting a wide receiver screen for 4 or 5 yards, and they ended up taking the time. That was such a big win, and I will say this: Colin Coward, fuck you, man. Colin Coward is such a critic. I don't know why I keep giving in, listening to all these media.
Every week.
Every week, I feel like I text you saying, "Lo, here's Colin Cowherd or somebody
You
else."
posted on Twitter too, or Twitter, X
Tweeter.
Twitter.
But the last couple of weeks, I love what I'm seeing with the Dolphins. I love what I see more with the defense, though, because when the offense doesn't get going, that the defense steps up, and that's one thing I'm looking forward to tomorrow in that big matchup.
That has to be one of the biggest games this year for you guys.
I think it's the biggest I'm not even exaggerating. The biggest Dolphins game since probably 2000.
I really hope that you guys don't. If you do lose, I hope it's not a blowout.
I really hope so. Yeah.
I was not expecting that from them to the Niners. I thought it was going to be close.
I thought so too.
But holy crap, did Purdy look like a third-string quarterback?
I'm going to say this.
He looked. I just want to say this now. How much the media gets on Jalen for turnovers, he never did that.
There's no way Jalen or Hurts throws 4 picks in a game.
He might fumble. Way. He might fumble. He runs a lot more than Purdy, and he might throw a pick. But 4, no.
You're not going to see him. You're not going to see that. MVPs don't make 4 INTs a game. Sorry. Yeah. That's not going to happen.
But we know Purdy's like that. But I feel like it's just overshadowing because of how much talent is around him.
Yeah.
I mean, McCaffrey really just put that team together when they got him.
He's the gel. He makes the machine run.
Yeah, he sets the pass up. The run sets the pass up.
Ayuk is having a brilliant season too.
Yeah.
I really like Ayuk, what he's doing over there.
I've always liked him a little more than Debo, just because I feel like Debo gets hurt a lot.
I agree.
You know, I've never seen Debo really with a healthy full season in a while, without missing a game here and there. I mean, it's common now. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
he's just one of those receivers where he should get more respect than he doesn't get. But yeah, you guys blew out the Jets 30-0 the week before Christmas Eve. But like I said, you got this big game, and it's at Baltimore.
Frankie, I'm going to tell you a little story. It was last year, Baltimore, Miami, 2022. Tua and company were down 28 points in late third, fourth quarter.
Oh, I watched it.
And Tua, damn Tagovailoa, ended up coming back and winning that game.
That game was great. I remember watching that game.
I have never witnessed a game like that. I don't think I've ever seen a game like that. That was a complete meltdown. And I think that's what started making me believe that, you know, this team can really, really do something. And I really do hate to say it. If we do lose, I know the Bills are going to beat New England. And that Week 18 matchup is going to be for the AFC East title.
Oh, yeah. And the Bills are still fighting, too. The Bills...
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of these teams, like I said, that are still fighting. I mean, there's so many people that can still contend and be in the playoff picture. And it's a weird year because the Browns are looking fantastic. And they lost...
They're a scary team.
Without Nick Chubb.
And you know what? I did see they've lost so many guys.
They have, and they've picked pieces up right after. They re-signed Kareem Hunt. I mean, props to the owners or the coaches that have established that together as well, because he's actually a runner-up for Coach of the Year. Him and Dan Campbell. I got to give it to Dan Campbell, though. I mean, it's just Lions have not looked anywhere near like they have in so long. The Lions are an 11-4 team this year. The Browns are going to the playoffs.
So
the Dolphins are looking fantastic, and the Patriots
look with that clinch. Yeah.
And the Patriots look like shit. That's never happened. You know.
I mean, as a Dolphins fan, I'm on like cloud 9 right now.
And the Jaguars, you know, a couple weeks ago they looked like they were a threat, and now they're they don't look that good. And
Oh, I think Lawrence is out. I think he's
Lawrence
done.
is actually out this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see them winning this week. I don't even know who their backup is.
I mean, we do have a lot to talk about. I'm down with talking about
Yeah.
everything that we possibly can, but
Right. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's just there's something every week that's happened. It's
you're
crazy,
right.
and that's what I was saying since the beginning of the podcast. Like, people like when they were like 6-0, they're like, "Oh my god, this team is the best." Like, no, it doesn't really start till November.
That's when you separate the boys from the men.
Yes, yeah, like mid-November all the way through,
Yeah.
especially December. Then you're like on like really crunch time. Like real teams are playing, and that's what these teams are starting to show up. Right, like the Browns and
Yeah.
and then like the Jaguars that you thought were a real team. Well, really, they're still not all there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lawrence is out this week. The Titans are still fighting. The Texans are still fighting. The Texans, I think, are going to take the division.
That
now.
division is wild because the
Every
Jags,
team can
Colts,
take it.
and Texans are 8-7.
Yeah,
There's a lot of really good games.
And the Colts have had Minshew in most of the season because their first round pick got hurt and was out for the season. And so who's to say that, Minshew's going to stay there? Because now he's possible to get probably a starting position somewhere next year.
Yeah.
With how good he's been playing.
As it stands right now, it would be the Colts heading to Miami.
You're talking about if the playoffs, if the season were to end today?
Yeah.
Oh my
Which
God.
I am fine with that. I don't want to play Cleveland. I'm sorry.
That defense is nasty.
Yeah. But let's swing around to we've been talking about the Dolphins. Let's swing around to your neck of the woods here.
Oh, you already know I'm ready to.
Philly coming off of really a bad skid of 3 games.
Yeah.
I guess talk about what's going on over there. How are you feeling right now? They got back on the wagon.
Eagles have gone through a lot here in the last month. So you always said, because I've been saying since the beginning of the year, I was like, this team is not as good as they're saying they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting too lucky every week. Well, damn if they didn't. Luck sure as hell did run out because let's see real quick.
Because they got walloped back-to-back games.
Oh, yeah. And
Niners and Cowboys.
They lost a game they shouldn't really have lost. It was bad play calling and coaching, in my opinion.
And then Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Coming in.
He threw a dime, though. I'll give that to him.
That was a dime, yeah.
So the last 6 weeks, the Eagles beat the Chiefs. They beat Buffalo in that crazy comeback game. San Fran comes into Philly. The people start fighting and arguing before game. The people are fighting and getting, disqualified during the game. Even the head of security.
Security, that was wild.
Yeah, he's finally back and able to be on the field this week.
42, I've never heard of the head of security getting banned for an NFL
42-19. Oh my God! I was like, this is the real Eagles team I was looking at.
Yeah, I think you quit texting me for a little bit.
I was just done with the game. I took my jersey off and just sat there, and my wife was like, "Damn." You know why? You also really want to know why I was pissed that week? My first time playing a parlay, and I had all 4 teams right, and then I had just the last team I needed was the Eagles, and they fucked up my whole parlay.
Those are the worst.
I said, I'm never doing that again. They fucked up my parlay.
And you did it the next week.
Yeah, I did. So then we go to Dallas. Big game at Dallas. They also just, this is Shaq Leonard's first game with us. Don't really see much there. Defense looks terrible. They don't look like they're together. They always start off good. The Niners game and the Cowboys game. The first drive, they go straight down there and they score. They stop them on their first drive on defense, and then we're like, okay, maybe they got their stuff together. After that, no. They adjust. They're done. They get blown out. We lose to Dallas, San Francisco. Go into Seattle. This is flexed into Monday night. Geno originally was supposed to start. They didn't decide or tell the media or tell anybody till game time that Drew Lock is the starting quarterback. Playing the Eagles.
Watching post-game interview about that. Yeah,
I didn't even stay up for this whole game just because the first 2 quarters I watched, I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
You don't like when the Eagles play Monday Night Football because you just have to go to bed.
Well, it's not even that, man. It's like I stayed up for the Dallas game, and
Yeah.
they just disappoint you because like on paper they look fantastic, and then when you see what they're doing, you're like, what the hell are you doing? How are you at this record? I just don't get it, man. They had the score and lead 17-13 with 2 minutes and some change left, and they're throwing the goddamn ball. Run the ball. You have Swift. I can't stress this enough. This is probably my biggest thing I hate that the Eagles have done all year. Now Nick Sirianni's backing up Brian Johnson. Now, I don't know if you want to take that, but right now, buddy, you got a target on your back because we don't like Brian Johnson. So if you're going to cover his ass, well, okay, guess what? The target's on your ass now, too. So they switch defensive coordinators play calling. It's the same coordinator, but different play calling. The person from the Patriots that we had on our team is now doing defensive play calling, but it's not the coordinator. We were like, what the fuck is the point? Okay. Doesn't make a big difference anyways. And then you're covering Brian Johnson's ass, saying, well, you know, we have passes, we have runs, we have screenplays, but they're all are the same type. It might seem like the same type of play, but they're flexed differently. No, man, you're just saying the words to cover your ass. You don't know the fuck you're talking about. So it's like bad coaching with excellent talent. The reason they're winning games is the talent. It's not because of the coaching. I'm telling you right now. But you pass the ball with 2 minutes and something left, and you have the lead, and you throw the ball 3 times in a row when you have an unstoppable play that people are trying to ban, and you have DeAndre Swift, who is a top 5 Russian back this year, and you don't give him the fucking ball more than 10 times. Then the last 4 weeks, I mean, I don't understand it. And then you give them the ball back, and they drive right down the field, and they score a touchdown, and we lose to the Seattle Seahawks. Drew Lock. I couldn't believe it when I woke up and saw that. I couldn't. I was so disgusted I didn't even want to watch football the next week. I did anyways. Christmas Day, the Giants game. Another what the fuck game.
That was when DeVito got injured, didn't he?
DeVito got benched.
He got benched. That's
they
right.
benched him for Tyrod.
Tyrod Taylor, and y'all almost lost that game.
I just don't understand why they put themselves in situations. They're their own worst enemy, like I've been saying all year. He threw a pick 6 when Goddard fell, and then they go down the field and they score again. And defense just isn't there, man. They're just not as good as last year. And it's a bad taste in our mouth because last year was so great. That's what we were expecting this year, and it's just not going to happen. So I'm just hoping that they get into a spot where they all come together and it's like, you know, the past is the past. Focus on this week. Keep it moving. We get Cunningham back on linebacker. We get Avonte Maddox back on defensive back. That's a huge comeback. That is a weakest spot. Byard is not playing the greatest, even though we got him from the Titans this year. He's been okay, but nothing like crazy we thought he was going to be. Blankenship is hit or miss, too. I mean, he can tackle, but coverage-wise, it's hit or miss. And Bradbury is just fucking trash. I'm saying that right now. James Bradbury needs to fucking go. Bradbury and Slay are... I don't know why we focused on paying them this year. I was just talking to the Steagles podcast, Bruce, about this. Slay should have been not signed, re-signed. Bradbury shouldn't have been re-signed. They should have focused on keeping Garden Johnson because he was the best defensive back we had last year. He led in interceptions. He tackled. He was all over the field. And they did the opposite. And I just think that's the worst thing they could have done. Because now I'm seeing you got Ringo. The rookies are stepping up. And they're playing coverage-wise and tackling-wise way better than Slay and Bradbury is. So, and what have they shown this year? Barely anything. So I feel like that was a mistake too, and they're getting old. They're up there in age. You know, Slay's not the same anymore. Bradbury, he was okay last year. It wasn't anything crazy. Like I said, Slay and Garden Johnson were the big focus last year. Bradbury was just in the mix. So I'm happy we signed the Colts cornerback that is on suspension right now. He's coming to us next year. I feel like Shaq Leonard is going to stay with us after the 1-year deal. You know, we wanted to make sure he was still playable after 2 surgeries. So I feel like there's still some hope. coming into the playoffs. I'm really trying to not think we're one and done in the playoffs. We did clinch the playoff spot. We have to score touchdowns.
Yeah.
And they have to cover. They can't get to the goddamn quarterback this year, man. Led in sacks last year. This year it's like ranked 18th, I think they said. And they have the tackles there. I don't understand why they can't get to the quarterback. You got Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick is snapping. He's having an awesome year. The Jordan Davis and the rookie we signed that you said was going to be rookie of the year probably this year.
Carter.
Jalen Carter. I mean, they have the pieces there. I just don't get why they struggle so bad. The offense is what pisses me off even more. I mean, you have probably the I just told you the stats from last week. You have a team that is struggling this year during games. They're barely blowing teams out, right? But they have A.J. Brown. He just passed the Eagles' catching record in franchise history. And him and Devontae Smith just broke back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. And they're still struggling on offense. And Jalen Hurts just broke the rushing touchdowns for a quarterback in a season, for any quarterback in NFL, 15 rushing touchdowns. And then he's about to throw for 4,000 passing yards. Why are they struggling? Why is this offense struggling against teams that aren't even on their same level? Coaching, adjusting, and play calling.
Yeah.
And we've been saying it for over a month now, and fucking Nick Sirianni doesn't want to fucking listen. So I just don't get it. A.J. Brown's probably the best receiver they've ever had since T.O. I mean, he's just a beast, dude. I mean, he's dropped some passes, but like when it comes, like when they know that he needs them, he doesn't drop a pass, and he takes hits too. Devontae Smith too. I don't feel like he gets enough credit. Smith is smaller, but he makes some good catches. And they have Dallas Goedert back now too. And they have DeAndre Swift. Like that's what I'm saying. They have
the weapons are there. Yeah, you're completely right.
I don't get it, man. It doesn't make sense. Like they're never gonna have this much talent all around them again, probably in a very long time.
So, as I'm looking here, you guys are currently the 2 seed. You're at 11-4.
Yes.
You have Arizona coming in. Maybe trap game. I don't know. So for hypothetical purposes, theoretical, whatever. If you guys somehow lose to Arizona,
I'll fucking be livid. I'll fucking grow crazy, dude.
And the Cowboys beat the Lions tonight, will they go to that 2 seed, Dallas, and then overtake the East for now?
I believe so. From what
who has the tiebreak?
Who has the tiebreak?
Yeah.
I don't.
Didn't you guys split 1-1?
Yeah, because we beat them, they beat us, but the Niners.
We both lost. Probably go conference or division.
Yeah, we both lost to the Niners too. So.
Damn.
So that's why we need some help. So technically,
game tonight for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, they keep telling us they keep saying that we want Cowboys to win tonight. I don't know why. I just don't.
I would want Dallas to win.
Yeah, I never want Dallas to win, even when they suck.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But that's why I was going back to you with the number 1 seed. Like they're saying, the Eagles are still able to get it. The Lions are able to get it. The Niners are able to get it. The Cowboys are able to get it. Who do you think? Don't mind me. Like. Don't mind my team. Who do you think is going to get the number 1 seed at the end of the day in the NFC after next week?
It's the Niners still.
You think the Niners are going to get it?
Based on
their schedule,
wise, I don't think the Niners are going to lose to the Commanders.
No, I feel like they're going to blow them out.
Yeah,
they're gonna be hungry this week.
Yeah,
and the Commanders, I don't know if we're gonna start Sam Howell this week.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they have the Commanders, and then they finish up with the Rams.
See, the
which could be
Rams,
a really good game
I
because
feel
they're
like could
fighting for
upset them.
playoff spot.
Yeah, I don't see them losing this week. I could see them definitely losing to the Rams though,
I agree.
because you were said they are fighting. Another team we almost didn't beat either this year. They got Puka Nakua, is that his name?
Nakua, yeah,
And I mean, they still got some players, like Aaron Donald, of course, and
yeah.
um, Jesus Christ, the guy that came back after a couple games, he got hurt.
Cup.
Yeah, Cooper Cup.
Yeah.
Can't ever remember his name for some reason. Yeah, I'm trying not to say that we're not going to get the number one seed, but do we really deserve it? No, we don't. That Seattle game, like I said, really hurt us. We wouldn't
Yeah.
be in the spot now if we just won one of those 3 games. So, I could mean honestly, from what I saw against the Giants, we could lose to the Cardinals. They beat the Cowboys. They
Yeah.
got some players. Kyler Murray's back. James Conner. I mean, they got a tight end that's starting to become a star too. Ever since they cut Zach Ertz, so I mean, as long as they just don't turn over the ball, I think we'll be okay. But if they turn the ball over and they give them options back, they could lose that game. Now, to the AFC number 1 seed spot, is it basically just between you two teams right now?
Yes.
Because you guys, I feel like are a little more solidified. Where NFC is like wide fucking open.
Yeah.
AFC, it's kind of like you can kind of tell like what's gonna happen.
It's tomorrow's game between us and the Ravens are going to be for that seed.
Yeah. Ravens look fucking good, man.
They really do.
I had no intention of thinking that they were gonna be a number 1 contending team this year, going into the 2023 season.
Who?
The Ravens. I didn't think they were going to be this good.
I didn't either. I thought they would be good. I
Yeah.
didn't.
I thought
pick
they'd be
them
like a
to
wild
win.
card,
Yeah. I think we both had them as a wild card.
Yeah, but I mean, they added a lot of pieces this past offseason too. And, they drafted Zay Flowers.
Yes.
Lamar seems to be getting in a rhythm as well. He's like a little more, it seems a little more comfortable, like a little more patient too this year. He's not like rushing things.
Yes.
And we already said the Dolphins. They're one of those teams we were very curious. You wanted to see how Tua came back from all that shit, and you believed in Tua like people go to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can say that has come true. That he is coming back to his full potential. I feel like sometimes when I'm watching him though, that he's not fully 100%. Like he's way better than he was last year, of course.
Yeah.
But I still sometimes when I see him, and I'm like, I don't know if he's just having an off day or he's just not 100% yet. He's still getting comfortable, maybe. Like it still scares you almost.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. And if you watch Hard Knocks, he blames all of his throws that he misses on him.
Well,
and
sometimes what's really actually interesting when you watch that, when they describe it, Tyreek Hill's so fast that he throws the ball stupid early.
He does.
But it's perfect because of how fast Hill is. And I feel like that is good, but at the same time, I think that's why he overthrows some of these other people. He's so used to throwing early to Hill, where if he wants to throw to Waddle or, whoever else, it's like, oh shit, like, last throw, I didn't have to be like that,
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just a small situation like that. But do you think he's comeback player of the year?
Nobody's giving him a chance, which I'm not surprised. People are saying DeMar Hamlin. With all due respect,
I don't agree.
That is a great story.
Yes,
it's an incredible story.
Yeah.
But what impact has he made?
Yeah.
He's not played over 10 snaps.
Well, and to be fair, I mean, so somebody was basically saying what you were saying about that. Story is great, but on the field wise, what has he done?
Yeah, I feel like that's what comeback player of the year is.
Yes.
I feel like I don't want to be a dick saying this, but I mean, he basically died last year,
Yes.
gotten, back to life. And, but he hasn't done anything. Like Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was sitting on his couch weeks ago, calling teams, begging for a chance. Right now, he's kind of my go-to, my number one for comeback player of the year.
I mean, if Joe Flacco didn't come back, he would probably get it without a doubt.
Oh yeah,
But
and then you had mentioned Baker Mayfield.
he's throwing bombs, man. He's having an awesome season. That system works for him.
It
He
does.
he looks
It really
good.
does.
He really looks good. I got the Bucks as a team you need to watch out for in the playoffs. I mean, they still got some players, man. And Mike Evans has got a 10 seasons straight with 1,000 yards. That's impressive.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer in my book. So, what I believe in the beginning of the year we had some takes on who we thought we were going to be MVP, Rookie of the Year, and most surprises or biggest surprises and biggest not so surprising things. Right now, who do you think is your MVP right now if it ended today?
I don't want to be biased,
Don't say
and
Tua,
I'm not
please.
saying Tua. I'm not saying Tua. Um, Tyreek. I mean, it's what he's doing, and it's just I don't know of any other receiver besides maybe Calvin Johnson back in the day with the Lions, kind of making an impact for a team like Tua or Tyreek has. And then on the other side, I mean, you can also make a case for Mozart. He's not getting any credit whatsoever. He's got over 1,000 yards rushing.
I wouldn't
He
put him
leads.
at MVP though.
I mean, no, but you can put him maybe in like a case for it, maybe like plus 5,000 odds. But like, I feel like nobody's talking about what he's doing in Miami. Like he broke Ricky Williams' single season rushing record,
Oh yeah.
and he's the first 8 seasons he had 19 touchdowns, and now this season alone he's got 21 touchdowns. So I mean, you can put him in there, but he's not going to win. But there is definitely a strong case for me. It's down to two: McCaffrey or Tyreek for me. What about you?
So, I mean, we thought he was on track for breaking probably 2,000 yards because he was.
He's not.
So now, I mean, you have 2 games left, and you have a very good defensive game this week too.
Yeah.
He's got 1,641 yards right now, so technically, I mean, he would need really two
Over
big
100.
games.
Yeah, over 150, I think. In both
Not
of them.
saying it's not possible, but if it wasn't the Ravens, I'd say it's more likely. But
Well, the Ravens and Bills coming up.
yeah, and the Bills technically have a decent defense too.
Yeah.
So, I think he is still leading in receiving yards though, from what I'm looking at here
Yes,
right
he
now.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, the person behind him is CeeDee Lamb with 1424, and then AJ Brown at 1394. So you got Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then I'm sorry, I was wrong. Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nakua at 1327.
Yeah.
AJ Brown, and then Amon St. Brown is the top receivers right now. But my MVP is probably Christian McCaffrey. That's what I would say.
Wouldn't be upset about that. I mean, McCaffrey's a damn stud.
He's an all-around good back. He runs and he can catch the pass, and he's just that big impact player that you can tell makes a difference for the team this whole season.
Oh yeah. I do have a question. Now,
Okay.
We talked about who we think MVP. Who do you think has been so far? We're almost the season's almost there. Kind of like the biggest flop or the biggest dud, like that you think would have maybe made a case, I guess.
I mean,
I have one
this
in mind.
year,
Yeah.
man, does injuries count?
No.
Because I was gonna say injuries, because you got
Yeah,
some.
right.
Um, I really
I have one big one.
probably Patrick Mahomes.
Mine's on the same team. Travis
Travis Kelce.
Kelce. Look at his stats. He's been absent the last 8-9 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, where has he been besides with Taylor Swift?
Yeah. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes still, just because he's tied for the most. He's top 3 in interceptions this year.
This year, really?
He's right behind Josh Allen. He has 14 picks. Josh Allen has 15.
Is he really? He's right behind Josh Allen?
Yep.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Sam Howell leads the league with 17 picks. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah, Sam Howell has 17 picks. Josh Allen has 15, and Patrick Mahomes has 14. So I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes, since they won the Super Bowl last year, and he's obviously not playing.
That's a valid point. By the way,
he can keep blaming his wide receivers for dropping passes, but guess what? That's part of the game, dude. So
last week was the worst Kansas City team I've seen in quite a while.
They just don't look insane.
They look sloppy.
Yeah,
they really do look sloppy.
They look bad.
Kelsey's pissed off. I don't think he's getting any love from Taylor Swift, which is probably why his gameplay's trash.
Yeah, so MVP, Christian McCaffrey. What is yours again? You think Tyreek Hill still?
I do think Tyreek, depending on what happens these last 2 weeks, I do think he'll play.
If he if he hits 2,000, I will give him my MVP. But unless he doesn't get that, I don't see him as MVP.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because he has missed games too. So,
yeah.
Yeah, biggest flop is probably Patrick Mahomes. You're thinking right after a Super Bowl win, he'd still have it. They just don't look like a good team this year.
And that pisses me off because they weren't really that great when we played them.
Yeah. And we barely beat them at Arrowhead, but yet we still did,
Yeah.
Because they dropped passes that could have been touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's mistakes like that. Like, people keep making that like that's a reason why we got lucky. Well, no shit. It's like anything else in the world. It's luck, man. It's part of the game. It's gonna happen. I mean, who is your rookie of the year? I want to know if you're still going to keep rookie of the year. Yours was Jalen Carter, I believe, in the beginning of the season.
That was, I think, defensive.
That was defensive?
Yeah.
I thought there was only one award, though, for rookie of the year.
Was it? Well, fuck it.
They got offensive and defensive, and then they got rookie of the year. I'm pretty sure I said mine was CJ Stroud in the beginning of the year.
I think mine was, I said Bijan. But that just went to shit.
Oh, man.
Just because he's on Atlanta.
That was a big disappointment, too, wasn't it?
Well, he doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, Desmond Ridder is biting the dust.
Yeah. That team's awful.
Yeah, it's just not in sync, man. It's a shame because they can have high expectations with an actual QB, but we do have a little live scenarios for week 17. We can go into this if you want. It's up to you.
What, like playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the NFC clinching scenarios. The Niners clinch a first round bye with a win plus losses by Philadelphia and Detroit.
Wow.
Philly.
That could happen.
That could happen.
That could definitely happen.
Yeah. Philly clinches the NFC East title with a win plus a Dallas loss or a tie and a Dallas loss.
So wait, why would they want Dallas to win then? That's what
I have no
it
idea.
has to do with the seed. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And then one of the divisions I'm definitely watching out for this weekend is that NFC. I believe it's South, NFC South. 7 and 8, I believe, are New Orleans, Atlanta, and Tampa.
I got Tampa
Tampa
getting that.
Tampa clinches the South with a win or a tie and a Atlanta loss.
Wow, they need Atlanta to lose.
Yes.
What? You're telling me the Bucks aren't the top seed in the division?
Uh, no, not yet, because all three of them are tied at
It,
7 and 8.
it's going to come
Or
down to the last week. It's got to be the
yeah,
last week. I got Bucks as the best team in that division right now.
yeah, I agree.
The Saints and Derek Carr look like trash. I'm sorry, they don't look good.
They didn't look that great against the Rams.
Yeah, they were just one of those teams that are there.
That are just
Derek
there.
Carr got to a new team, got jacked, and he's like, "Oh, barely made it."
Barely made the playoffs.
Who do you? So here's a question I want to ask. We had our teams going to the Super Bowl in the beginning of this season. Yeah, not biased at all.
Right.
Now looking at the whole scenario, who do you have going all the way as of right now? The two teams. Who do you think, honestly, God honest truth, when it comes to playoff time, crunch time, playing all the way 4 quarters, all the way up to the big game, who do you think is going to the Super Bowl? Put a bad taste in your mouth, didn't it?
I love bias, but if the Dolphins can win one playoff game, I'll be happy because we haven't in 20 years, 23. Um, uh, Based on what I've seen throughout the season, Baltimore is so damn good. So I think if I'm being very honest, and my heart says Miami, but common sense for me, watching Baltimore week after week, they've got studs on that team. I'm going Baltimore in the AFC, and then the NFC, man, it's up for grabs because you can have Philadelphia look like crap one week, the Niners, who we saw, look like crap, Dallas look like crap.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those teams can make the Super Bowl. I don't think Dallas will. Um, I have San Francisco. I really do. I know Purdy threw those 4 picks, but I think he'll learn from that. I think they'll be pissed off, and I think they actually might get revenge on Baltimore and actually win.
Yeah, I could definitely see from what I saw last 2 weeks. I could see Ravens and Niners being there again, like they did 10 years ago. When Joe Flacco and them played
The Harbaugh Bowl.
yeah, the Harbaugh Bowl. That was a good game too. Uh yeah, that's honestly what I see now. What do I want to see it? No, but is it just the two best teams I see on both sides right now? Yeah, honestly, as a whole, week after week after week, I
What I
mean,
what I want to see,
is ours.
if that happens, I might have to convince Wifey Sauce
Yeah,
to just make some weekend trip,
yeah.
and we got to watch that game together.
Yeah, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I feel like that could happen. And like I said, this year is so important to this organization because, god damn it, they are going to lose so many players next year. Might be a better thing, though. Like I said, the
Yeah,
players I thought we needed this year aren't really playing that good this year.
yeah.
And that's just part of the game. You get old and you find new pieces and put them in there. Eventually, either it works or it doesn't. Um, I just don't know much about your defense to say if I'm all in on Dolphins. They're a good team. I mean, obviously, they're going to win have you already clinched your division?
Not clinched yet.
Really? I thought you already did
Yeah,
last
if
week.
Oh, if we beat Baltimore, we'll clinch a division.
Well, Jesus Christ, I'd hope so.
Yeah,
Because that division is god awful. Other than you guys,
yeah,
I mean, Buffalo's fighting. Don't get me wrong, but they just
yeah.
they're one of those teams that beat themselves up. Um, yeah, I really don't want to see the Ravens go all the way. But I see them going all the way. I'd prefer the Dolphins to go all the way, just obviously for you too. But I want to see different teams. I feel
I,
like we always see the same teams go.
I love that you said that because I feel the same way.
I
I
do.
really do.
I want to see different teams make it and go. I want to watch different teams in January and February. I don't want to see the same Chiefs, the Patriots.
Like when
Like,
Cincinnati played the Rams, I thought that was pretty damn cool because that's
yes.
probably not going to happen again.
Yeah, I loved watching that game because
Yeah,
in my whole lifetime since I've been born, I've never seen those teams be in the Super Bowl. I've always seen the Giants.
that's so damn true. You're so right.
I've always seen the Giants, or I've seen the
Patriots,
Patriots, or
Broncos,
the
when they were,
Broncos, the
yeah,
Seahawks. Those teams that dominated for so long in that era. So I really want to see. I'd rather see your team go than mine because I was there last year. And like I said, I don't see them being a Super Bowl team this year.
yeah.
They have the talent,
Oh
but
yeah,
I mean, you got to have both, you know.
exactly. Yeah,
I mean, the team that we had that beat the Patriots in 2018 or 2017 season, 2018 Super Bowl, the team wasn't fantastic overall on
yeah.
defense. I mean, that was like almost 100 total point game when we beat Nick Foles steps in and beats Tom Brady and the Patriots. I mean, that was a high scoring game. The defense wasn't great. And in the playoffs, they weren't the greatest either. So that's why I'm like, they just really need to show up this last 2 weeks for me to have any faith in this team because I was like, once we played the Giants, first 2 quarters, we were up 3 scores. I was like, oh, we're back. This is the team I was waiting to see all year. They're back. And then they threw that pick, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, there's the team I've been talking about all year, I just want to see Jalen succeed, man. He's just so
Oh yeah.
humble and such a team player that he beats himself up. And people get so mad at him because he doesn't show emotion on the sideline. Well, no shit. Do you want him to
I mean,
start throwing his helmet and stuff like all these other
exactly.
jackasses?
Yeah,
And then what? So the
she
media
was
can.
the same way.
No, it's because the media wants them to do that, so they have
Yeah,
more shit to talk on them about. Is why they get mad when they're humble because they're like, "Oh, he's a nice person. We can't talk shit on him." That's honestly what it is.
yeah.
And like I said, man, they're never gonna have a good as receiver as AJ Brown when he leaves. I'm saying it right now. They never could draft a receiver. I mean, look how long it took him to draft the number one overall, or number
Yeah.
first round receiver, Devontae Smith. I mean, before Smith and Brown got there, you want to hear a crazy stat? Before Brown and Smith got to this team, they never had 1,000-yard wide receiver since 2004. Okay, since
That-
Terrell Owens.
That's what I thought. That's what I was gonna
And
say.
the Super Bowl. So think of
Wow.
that almost 20-year gap of not having a solid number one receiver. But then now you have back-to-back seasons with 2 wide receivers of 1,000 yards. That's why I'm like, man, you really need to like solidify and use what you got now while you got it because you ain't gonna always have that, and a lot of teams don't have that. So, I mean, so I really just hope your team beats the Ravens. I really do because
It's
it's
I
going to be
listen,
hard. It's going to be really hard. It is. But is it
it's in
possible? Yes.
Baltimore. It's definitely possible. It's in Baltimore. I've already got the nervous poops. I mean, they're already there.
Now, will you
Um,
be upset if you do lose? Are you actually going
yes,
to be disappointed? Okay, don't. Okay, you're going to be upset. That's a given
I,
because you lost. Are you going to be disappointed that you lost to the Ravens?
I guess it depends on how bad we lose. I guess because if we
Fight back.
fight back and we beat Dallas last week, then we can beat anybody. But if we lose, I will be disappointed. I will be sad because that just leaves the freaking Bills going to Miami week 18
A reason to
and
fight.
and literally clinching. We have the division. If we would have beaten Tennessee, we
Yeah.
would have clinched the division, which
Well,
pisses me off.
it's back. It's the same situation that we're in, man. I mean, if we
I
didn't
mean,
lose to Seattle, we wouldn't have to hope for the Niners to lose. So
it sucks, but I do believe that the way the Dolphins rally around each other, McDaniel's just building something special. I know I feel like broken record saying that, but if you watch Hard Knocks, just the way he's so unorthodox about everything is so awesome because you don't see that.
I have a
Like,
feeling you guys are gonna. I feel like you guys can beat them if you get to Lamar.
I agree, and we can.
Yeah,
We have the defensive line that can do it. Chubb's playing his ass off the
yeah,
last few weeks.
yeah. He has.
Um, Chubb, Van Ginkel stepping up.
I feel like
Si-
getting pressure to the quarterback and making them maybe turn the ball over once or twice will solidify you to winning them.
Oh yeah,
Because you have no problem scoring without a doubt.
oh yeah,
You guys are gonna. I don't think I'd be worried about you guys scoring on them. I feel like you'd be worried of stopping them from scoring because they do have some veteran receivers with
yeah,
Zay Flowers, so they have and they lost Mark Andrews, and they're
yeah.
still playing great. So that was a big loss for them.
I feel like if they're going to beat us tomorrow, it's going to be through the air
Oh yeah,
because I really don't think they have
you don't think he's gonna
a
run the ball?
solid. I think he'll run the ball when he needs to,
You don't think that'll
but
hurt you though?
I don't think so because I think McDaniel will know and expect it. I think Fangio is going to have a game plan,
Right,
and just the way that they rally around each other, it's different than any Dolphins team I've seen.
right.
Really, which is so interesting to me and why I like love this team this year.
Even with Waddle being out.
Yeah, because with Tyreek out against the Jets, we put up 30.
Yeah,
And by the way, that Jets defense, people say, "Oh, it's the Jets." Well, that's the Jets offense. Their defense is really not that bad.
they got good cornerbacks and
Yeah,
linebackers.
they do. I mean, I think like literally top 5,
Yeah, they
if I'm
are.
not mistaken.
They are.
It's like it's the Jets offense that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, well,
But
they get gassed. I mean,
exactly.
if you don't
Yeah.
give the time for the defense to rest, they're eventually going to show that they're just human like anyone else. They get tired.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So, and that's what's going to hurt them. I feel like if you guys stay on the field, it's like it's not a double-edged sword, but it could be like Tyreek Hill. He's so fast, but yet you want to stay on the field so you tire them out. So
Exactly.
so you're leaving Lamar on the sideline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like
I think sorry, another key thing I think that'll be important is Mozart. I
yeah,
think how the backfield's going to play with Mozart, HM, even Jeff Wilson Jr. When he made that first down last week to really clinch the game
mm-hmm.
against Dallas, that was a really good run. That was a power run.
What about your tight end?
We got Smythe.
Is he anything really to talk about this season?
The tight ends? I mean,
Just blocking, really?
just blocking. They really do a good job there.
Like a Brent Selleck?
Kind of.
Brent Selleck was more of a blocker. Like, he caught a touchdown here and there, but he wasn't like Goddard or Zach Ertz. Like, they're like threats.
Oh, yeah. I think as well is like you said, protection for Tua because we're down like 4 O linemen.
Oh my
Like,
God.
yeah, I mean we've been down like 4 O linemen for like the last couple of weeks.
If that game wasn't on the same time as my game, trust me, I'd be watching it.
Oh yeah, no,
I will be keeping watch of the score though. Trust me, because
oh yeah,
this is there's a lot of things playing an effect here for the playoffs and divisions and top seeds, like
yeah.
you said. So Um,
The, this is a big. This is like these are pretty big weeks, and we haven't seen like this much like scenarios, I guess,
yeah.
in a while for the NFL because you still got the NFC East that hasn't been decided yet.
And usually a lot of that stuff's already been decided by
Yeah,
this time,
so
especially the first seed. First seed usually doesn't go towards the last 2 weeks.
you're right. It's usually clinched up by at least week like 13,
Well, the
14.
Niners losing, and then us
Yeah,
losing. Those were two
that,
teams
that
they for sure thought that we're going to clinch first seed by December, the beginning of December. Now we're here end of December, and we still haven't done it. Um,
only the Lions can still get a 1 seed though.
I mean, can you really even count them out? I don't think you can.
They're 11-4. They
They,
would probably have to hope Philly and San Fran lose out.
I would rather play the Lions though than the Niners again.
Really?
I mean, look at we already played them once. They blew us out.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We
But
played the
like
Cowboys. We barely beat them the first time, and they blew us out the second time.
that Lions home game though, that's gonna be awesome to see Detroit in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
I feel like we will play Detroit. This is my prediction for the playoffs because we already clinched. I think we'll play the Lions as our first playoff game. How everything plans out. I think the Cowboys will play whatever other team clinches, and we'll play the Lions. And I feel like one of us will lose. Obviously, one
Yeah,
and done, like I said. Um, and honestly, I want your take on the Cowboys. Dak's having a good year. You can't give him that away.
no, I'm not at all. But from what I've seen last week, if you contain Micah Parsons, you have a shot to win the game.
Yep.
He was Parsons was not even named like 3 times.
No.
That O line was so impressive last week. I Dak Dak's interesting, man. He's having an MVP season.
CD Lamb honestly is having a great season too.
CeeDee Lamb's having a great season.
He's right behind Tyreek Hill for receiving. He's
Yeah,
got about 1,500.
I definitely see Dallas winning one playoff game, kind of like they did last year, I believe. That they
Yes.
but it's just I can't remember the last time they went to a Super Bowl.
When I was born,
92?
95.
I keep thinking it's true. Like me. 95. See, I
95.
haven't even seen the fucking Dolphins win a play. I've seen the Dolphins win a playoff game once.
28 years ago.
They Dolphins won in 2000. Wild card game.
And who was the quarterback? Culpepper.
Was it Culpepper in
Dante
2000?
Culpepper.
2000 was it Culpepper?
I'm pretty sure it was Culpepper. Also, I love the throwback uniforms they had on last week against the
Oh,
Cowboys.
those are nasty.
I love those.
My uncle said the same thing. He texted me. He's like, "Why don't they wear these every single week?" I'm like, "No."
I feel like they should wear one more throwback. The Eagles, I feel like, should wear Kelly Green one more time before playoffs, unless they're gonna save it for the playoffs. Because I love the Kelly
I
Green.
agree. I do like that.
I love the Kelly Green, and I love your guys' throwback colors too.
It was the other QB who I was thinking of. That was
Too.
my second guess. Jay Fiedler.
Really?
Jay
I
Fiedler.
thought Culpepper gave
Culpepper
something.
came in the mid 2000s, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then we had Cleo Lemon.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, come on. Can you I've been in misery here. I'm like, give me something. You've seen your team been to the Super Bowl plenty of times.
I also seen him with Chip Kelly for 3 years.
That's true.
So please spare me.
I'm not going to spare you. You have Super Bowls.
Our top receiver was Jordan Matthews.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And our top running back was DeMarco Murray, who was fucking ass for us and not for the Cowboys. So before we wrap it up, your predictions for this week. Let's
Let's roll with
this
it.
is a good week for football again.
It
I
really is.
think there's
I'm
a lot of
excited.
division matchups and like seed matchups.
And we currently got a game going on right now.
Oh shit! It just
Lions are
started, didn't it?
Lions are driving. They're at the
Really?
Dallas 23.
I picked the Lions because they weren't favored to beat the Cowboys. And I'm
You
telling
did.
you, the Lions are going to fucking beat the Cowboys at home. I don't care if they were undefeated all year. This is December. This is when Cowboys start showing their true colors.
That is true.
Happens every year.
I mean, since that game is tonight, you said you had the Lions.
Oh yeah, and I'm not just saying that because
Oh yeah.
I was honest with my predictions this year. I said the Cowboys were going to beat us at least once. It happens.
Yeah, you did say that.
It happens. It's been happening for the last 20, 30 years. It's always been split. That's just how crazy this NFC East division is. I mean, there hasn't been a consistent winner back to back in 30 years of the NFC East. It's always been the
Giants. There hasn't been?
There's never been a back-to-back winner in NFC East in almost 30 years. It's always been
You're joking.
No, I'm not. They talked about it last week. It's
been Dallas, Philly,
Washington, Giants, somebody different every year.
Sprinkled in there, Washington.
Yeah. Yep.
That's wild to me.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Never back-to-back winners in almost 30 years. That's why they're like, are the Eagles really going to win it? They've never done it before, so, it's just because even
break the trend.
Even in the Andy Reid era, it's 2000, 2002, then 2004. Or it's 2001, 2003, then 2005. It's not back to back. That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
I'll ask you, since I already told you mine, who do you got tonight's game since it's on right now? In all honesty, you don't gotta agree with me.
I do think the Lions had their fun. I mean, they clinched the division.
They're trying to go for number one, though.
They are trying to go for number one.
Dan Campbell is fired up, man.
I love Dan Campbell.
I watched them on Hard Knocks. I loved that.
I think I told you he was going to be Coach of the Year.
Yes.
I think I told you that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I love that Hard Knocks when I watched Dan Campbell speeching and him coaching. Dude,
oh, yeah.
You could tell he was fired up and ready, man. He's passionate about it. He means what he says. He gets them involved.
You're right.
He motivates them. That's what you need.
No, absolutely. I'm going Dallas just because they haven't lost at home yet. And
I think it'll be a close game still.
I think it'll be close.
Lions
just hit a field goal.
I'll get the spread. 7 points, please.
Is it 7?
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys win. It'll come down final 2 minutes. I think Cowboys win.
Going into tomorrow, New England at Buffalo. I got Buffalo.
I text Gabish today. I'm going to text Gabish. I am the biggest Patriot fan tomorrow. Part of me wants the Patriots to go into Buffalo and play spoiler. If they can do that, that would be so great. But I think Buffalo is too hot.
It's at Buffalo too.
Yeah, I mean, not playing at Orchard Park is something else.
Possible snow game favorites. Too.
The 14-point favorites. This is a must-win game for them. I think that because if they lose, I think they would probably get dropped back to the 7 seed.
Possibly not making the playoffs.
No, yeah, possibly not making the playoffs. So if they lose out, they're not making it. I'm going Bills just because I don't think Mac Jones has anything left.
Atlanta at Chicago. I got Bears.
Atlanta. Justin Fields coming off after really kind of a bad season and then secret agent man or whatever his name is, agent coming in for Fields for a few weeks. Fields has looked really good for Chicago. That if they didn't lose a couple close games, they still be in that playoff hunt. And possibly the division. But I got Bears. I think Bears win easily, to be honest.
Las Vegas Raiders at Indianapolis Colts. Crazy year for Raiders, by the way. They fired their coach, and Pierce is probably going to get the head coaching job. They're saying at the end of the year, he's changed them
Uh,
around.
he definitely deserves it. He played amazing. He made some great play calls last week.
I think you know what
Um,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Raiders beating the Colts.
uh, the Raiders are not. I don't think technically they're not eliminated yet,
They're
but
not.
they need help. They
Yeah,
need
they need a lot of
a
help.
miracle. They need an immaculate reception. Get it? Um, that was so dumb. Anyway,
Yeah, I got the
I
Raiders beating them because
you
they're,
got
they're they're not favored either. So
Indy by 4. I like what O'Connell's doing, to be honest. Um, he's currently the Raiders' man, so I think you're right. I think the Raiders win a tight one though,
oh yeah, it'll be close, but I
and
got
knock the
Raiders.
Colts out of the playoffs.
Will they be officially knocked out if they lose?
They probably will not, but they'll probably drop back a seed.
Oh yeah, especially for the division.
Yep.
Um, Rams at Giants. I am going all Rams. I don't think Tyrod Taylor makes a difference for this team, and the Rams are trying to fight to get the highest, trying to at least get one home game
Yeah.
in the playoffs, and they have players that are still pretty good. I mean, they've almost beat us too. So, um,
I completely agree. I think Stafford is playing up to
Stafford's
a
still
high.
Stafford. You know,
He really is.
and Puka
23
Nakua
TDs.
is a top 5 receiver this year.
Yep.
And who's to say Cooper Kupp might not have been if he was healthy all year? He
You're
missed
right.
half the season.
Williams just surpassed 1,000 yards last week.
Yep.
Uh, Rams by 20.
Rams by 20. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be close.
Let's see. Oh yeah, our game. Duh. Arizona at Philadelphia. We are favored by 13.5
13.5.
at home.
Who you got?
I got us. I mean, we have all the players back now. This is our full 2023 team is now. So they need to show us that they are a real deal still. They have Cunningham coming back. They signed Leonard. They signed Byard. The rookie cornerbacks are stepping up. Vontae Maddox is back. They have the pieces there. They need to get it together. And this Cardinals team is not good. So they have beaten good teams, but they're not a good team. So I got the Eagles by, I think, the spread. No more than the spread, though, by 14.
I think Cardinals are one of the best football teams right now in the NFL.
Yeah.
Eagles easily. However, I won't be surprised based on what the Eagles have done if this game is one possession with like maybe 8 minutes to go.
I mean, it's fair. It's been all year. It's been almost
Yeah.
literally every game when you look at their schedule.
Yeah.
They have not blown a team out. I
Yeah,
mean,
that is true.
and when they have, they've given up and brought them back into the game when they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
New Orleans at Tampa Bay. That's probably a really big game for the division.
It's a really big game here.
I have this as on my parlay too, and I had Tampa, and I'm sticking with that because I believe in Baker, what he's doing this year, and they have Mike Evans. I feel like their running backs playing really good too. So yeah, I got Tampa. I think the spread was 3.5 at home for Tampa, and that's who I got. So I'm sticking with it.
I'm going to go with the Saints. Here's why. I love my mother. She is a Saints fan. She's had an up and down season. She does like Carr. She loves Olave. That's one of her favorite players on there. It's a must-win game for the Saints. I think that'll give that the mentality going in. And this whole Baker Mayfield, thing, will it get to the Bucs' head? I don't know. White's having a good season for Tampa. But I think the Saints I think they pull it out barely. And I think they make this for the division next week.
San Fran at Washington.
Oh, Jesus.
Definitely San Fran. I don't see Commanders doing jack crap against them. I'm sorry.
I will be stunned if San Fran doesn't win by 20.
And guess what? I just want to interrupt this right now. Guess what just happened?
What happened?
Dak Prescott threw an interception for 24 yards. I love it.
Hey, listen to what happens. You get extra bonus coverage here Saturday night.
I love it.
That's awesome.
They were in the 30-yard line too. They were in field goal range.
Shoot, you might clinch a division tonight. Holy shit!
We still got to win, I thought. We got to win
Y'all
and then lose.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But that'll make the game even more. If they lose, I'm telling you right now.
Oh my god,
Philly is going in there angry and excited tomorrow. I'm telling you right now.
If Dallas loses, you better pop champagne tomorrow.
You want to know what Philadelphia is doing right now? I'm telling you what they're doing right now. They're watching this game, and they're being the biggest Lions fan ever right now.
I completely agree with that.
They are.
I think they're at. Yeah.
Oh God, this game is terrible now that Trevor Lawrence is out. Carolina at Jacksonville. Can I really say that I think Carolina can beat them now because Lawrence is out?
I was literally thinking the same thing.
That's a big factor. I mean, I don't know who the quarterback is backing up, so I'm gonna go upset Carolina at Jacksonville since Lawrence is hurt.
I'm kind of trending that way as well. I think the Jaguars are not the same team without Lawrence.
And Ridley is inconsistent.
Yeah. This is a big game for the Jags. If they lose this, they could
lose the division.
Lose the division, and then
Houston could take it.
Not even make the playoffs. So we're sitting here thinking coming in, the Jaguars are going to take this division easily. Well, they're sitting at 8-7. This is a trap game for the Jags, and I think the Panthers, like you said, I think they're going to win.
Oh yeah. Your guys' game, Miami at Baltimore, 1:00 CBS game. Also want to point out, I love CBS's announcers more than Fox's. I fucking hate Fox's announcers. Just want to point that out.
I hate Romo and Nance.
Yes. What do you think about Greg Olsen? He's hit or miss for me.
It's funny you said that because I think Olsen did the game last week with the Cowboys Dolphins.
He did.
My wife was like, "Who's this guy?" Because we're always on CBS,
right?
Because we always have Ian Eagle or Kevin Harlan,
right?
But Romo loves Josh Allen.
Romo loves Dallas.
That is true.
Same with Chris Collinsworth.
I have to mute that. By the way, I just seen this breaking news. Al Michaels is not going to be announcing any playoff game. Why?
I loved Al Michaels so much.
What did he do? Something?
No, he's tired. He's done.
That's crazy though.
I
do like Mike Tirico though. Yeah. Mike Tirico should be in there.
I got you guys in a crunch game. I really do. I feel like this Miami team's different this year. I feel like it's going to be a close game, though. I don't think it's going to be no blowouts going on here. I feel like as long as the defense steps up and contains Lamar, I feel like you guys have this game. I got Miami in a close one.
We are facing back-to-back-to-back scrambling quarterbacks, or quarterbacks that can't scramble. We checked off one, and he was really... When he scrambled outside the pocket, Dak really didn't do anything. Lamar's the same way. I completely agree. We have to get to Lamar to win this game. And we got to protect Tua, because if you don't protect Tua, then, we're toasted. I think this will be a close game, and I do think it may come down to the final minute. And I have the Dolphins clinching the division with champagne over my head.
Tennessee at Houston, another big division game. Will Levis is back. C.J. Stroud is off concussion protocol. as well.
Ooh, do we know if he's starting?
Yes, I believe he is
He
cleared
is.
for tomorrow. So I got Houston in a close one. I feel like Levis is going to be a little better than what they had, and Derrick Henry's still Derrick Henry. DeAndre Hopkins is here and there sometimes as well. I have Houston in a 10-point lead for winning. I think it'll be a close one, but I think they'll win by 10.
I have Texans winning as well. However, I think it'll be much more closer than people think.
Yeah.
Will
Division games
Levis
always are, it seems.
Yeah, I think Levis. I think he needs to be the Tannehill's done in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think Levis is the guy. He's such a stud. I think Texans win by 3.
That's fair enough.
Keep their division hopes alive.
Pittsburgh at Seattle.
Both teams fighting.
Mason Rudolph is starting. He is now the official starter. Seattle, Gino's not officially back yet still. So I'm going to go with what I should have done last week that you told me to do. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's still fighting to get in as well. So I got them. I got Pittsburgh.
It's a slim chance if Pittsburgh can win out. They need help. But Mason Rudolph did look really good. He really did look good. And Pickens is a stud for Pittsburgh. They have that going for him. Drew Lock, if he starts, that's a really good story. That post-game interview was awesome as well against the Eagles. This is a tough game because there's so many implications. I think I'll go Steelers. I think they got it going on. It's going to be a good end to the season. If they can get 10-7, that'll be really impressive.
Without Pickett.
Exactly.
Another dumpster fire game. Chargers at Denver. Denver just recently benched Russell Wilson and probably did honestly say that he's probably not coming back next season. They told him that.
Have you heard that whole story?
Yeah, it's
Did you
bonkers.
see his interview?
Yeah, they're going to lose money. They're going to have to pay to cut him, and they're going to lose money in the future. Like,
that is crazy that they just went up to him and said that.
Yeah, they did. They said, you're probably not going to be here next year. Oh, also, you're benched this week.
That's like a big F you, bro.
Yeah. And Justin Herbert's out. So I got Chargers winning this game. They still have Khalil Mack and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, and Denver doesn't really have people like that, so in my opinion. So I got Chargers beating them.
The Chargers almost upset the Bills with a hockey stick quarterback. Easton Stick. D2, I think. He looked actually not that bad. I'm not gonna lie. He didn't look that bad against the Bills.
Right.
I don't know who's starting for Denver.
I don't know either. I have no clue. Another one I don't know much about.
The Chargers are probably the best 5-10 team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because they have the talent. They just don't have a quarterback. I think Herbert goes to the Bears. Fields gets switched. I don't know.
Fields will go somewhere else next year.
Do you think he will?
I do.
Do you think Chicago deals Justin Fields and gets Williams?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That'll be ballsy if they do that.
I think Fields will go to Atlanta.
That is actually not bad. I can see him in Atlanta. There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks.
Yes, there is. I could also see Fields go to, let's see, Las Vegas Raiders.
I can see that as well.
With Pierce now in control,
I can
eventually
see him even going to the Commanders too for some weird reason.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think Howell's the
Commanders. The Commanders feel like they're going to draft the quarterback, try to at least.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Bengals at the Chiefs. Joe Burrow, sucks, but they've still been fighting here and there. Not the
Yeah,
same team. Same with the Chiefs. Not the same team, but they're still there. I got that. I don't see the Chiefs losing back to back at home. I feel like it'll be a close game though. I don't think they're gonna blow them out because of the drops and frustration and just not being the same with Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift bullshit. So I got the Chiefs by 8.
this is probably gonna come as a surprise to many people, Cincinnati people in my area. I think the Bengals with Jake Browning and Jamar Chase talking his shit as he did earlier during the week. I think the Bengals upset the Chiefs. I think they go into Arrowhead and they do it again, except this time with Browning. And if the Chiefs lose to the Bengals, you better call the what is that? Uh, oh my god, I can't think of it. But Chiefs fans are not going to be happy. They're gonna,
No, Mahomes is not going to be happy. He's already thrown his
yeah,
helmet.
yeah. Mahomes will not be happy. But if the Chiefs lose this game, they're going to be on upset watch. I'll tell you that in the playoffs
Dak just
for
threw
sure.
a 92-yard touchdown.
TD,
CD. He's just not. God damn it!
damn.
I had to tell you that. Last game of week 17? Is it 17
This
or
is
16?
week 17.
Green Bay at Minnesota for
This
Sunday
fucking
night.
game should have been flexed to 1 p.m. and switch ours.
Miami definitely should have been flexed into this game. I feel like it's a better
This is
matchup.
such a dumpster fire game.
Yeah. I got Green Bay by 6. 2 field goals. Not a
Uh,
touchdown.
Hawkinson's out for the season, I think, which hurts Minnesota. Don't really know much about their backup QB. I think Jordan Love, he's had an up-down season, but I think the Packers do win. And I think they win by, I don't know, 5.
I think Love does have some, promising things there. He's
Oh,
not
yeah.
there yet, but he sometimes you see him and you're like, man, he's not the quarterback. Then some games you see him and he's like, okay, he does have some talent there. So
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I think he just needs more coaching and more time and better targets and receivers. His O line is not the best either. They've upgraded the O line, but it's
Yeah.
not fully complete yet, and his defense isn't there yet either to help him. So like you said, it's just another one of those teams fighting to stay in the playoff hopes as well.
Like this week 17, man, this is what, we love as sports fans. Um, a lot of playoff clinching scenarios,
There
division
really
clinching
is.
scenarios.
This year in football has been crazy. It's just been
And
so back and forth every week with every team. It's just like they seem like a good team, then they're like, oh, they lost, maybe not, and then they win, and
yeah,
then they lost, oh, and then they won.
I
Every team's like that this year.
I have been a Dolphins fan, as you know, for over 25 years of my life. And if they win tomorrow, they I will probably douse myself in champagne, drink a little champagne and a little more. And
Well, you already did that last week too.
that is true. That's true.
You just do it every week. From now on, you just do it every week now.
No shit. But this season has been one of the best I've seen from the Dolphins. It really is. McDaniel seems like he has this team turned around, and I really do think the Dolphins are out of their mediocrity that they have been the past 20 years. And I'm really excited to see what they do tomorrow, and then finish it up against the Bills, and then you and I hopefully will do a special huddle pod in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, we'll
Playoff
definitely
edition.
got to try that. Before we go, I'm watching Jalen
If you want to
Hurts'
prepare
interview
for the
right now,
gas,
right?
Yeah.
And here, because you can't listen to what I'm watching right now, but I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
tell you what he says. All right.
You know, not letting the situation get the best of us, finding a way to overcome that circumstance we kind of put ourselves in.
The state of the locker room right now from your vantage point.
Asking what the state of the locker room is to Jalen right now, after he's describing that, even though he just said we put ourselves in the situation where we were, but we were able to overcome it, and that's what matters most. Then this person asks him, what is the state of the locker room? Because they're trying to say there's drama going on with A.J. Brown.
I think we're hungry. I think we're motivated, eager, kind of the same things I've been saying. And just
recent.
Huh?
Just recent.
Yeah, this is 4 days ago. This is from Christmas, after the Giants game.
Oh boy.
He said they are motivated and hungry, and that's what keeps them striving to get that first seed.
in terms of chasing that standard we have for ourselves.
That's a leader. I mean,
demanding,
that's who you want to have.
demanding that
as
of
a,
ourselves. You know, I don't
as a
think
QB.
win, lose, or draw
And
is a circumstance where you compromise
if
the
you've seen
standard
Hard Knocks,
of what we want.
you can tell how
we want to
happy
be.
Tua is
But,
that he's finally getting to be himself.
you know,
And I think
being
that's
together
what's
and committing ourselves
transformed
to
him
excellence,
into
and
becoming
chasing that.
one of the best
Obviously
QBs in the
good to get a
league.
win.
And I will
Great to get a
put
win.
Herbert off of the pedestal.
Kinda went to
And I
another-
continued to
another
say
test
this.
there. But,
Look at the
overcome
numbers
the things we did today.
that came out of the draft class with Tua, Burrow, and Herbert. Tua is the first to 30 games, but nobody talks about that because Tua's injured. Tua's this. Well, for all you naysayers, if Tua wins the Super Bowl this year, somehow, some way, that's just the ultimate FU. So that is all I'm going to say this week, at least, for all the naysayers like Stephen A. Smith, Colin Coward, Shannon Sharp, all those guys. It's definitely going to be a fun week 17.
I'm telling you right now, if we lose to the Cardinals, they will be a one-and-done team in the playoffs. And what I hope happens is that they finally get Nick Sirianni off Brian Johnson's cock and fire his ass because he sucks. All right? That's all that I hope that happens. If what happens doesn't happen, which is them losing. I hope we beat them by 2 scores at least. I want to see them beat them by at least 2 scores. I want to see them run the ball with Swift. I want to see them do the tush push. And I want to see Jalen throw bombs to A.J. Brown. Because that's what they can do if they do it correctly in that orderly fashion, not throw it downfield in double coverage. So,
Hey, anything Hurts could do because right now I'm in the finals of the fantasy, baby. Let's go.
he said,
Anything.
any tush push, please, please.
Any touch push.
You got Swift too, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Bro, Swift is a good pickup this past year. Do you want to, before we end it, do you want to know who they signed this offseason that people thought would be a big piece and hasn't played barely at all year? Do you know who I'm talking about? He's a running back. Do you know?
I think I remember you telling me.
He used to be on the Seahawks.
Oh, shit. What's his name?
Rashad Penny.
Yes, Penny.
Has not done shit all year for us, and they signed him thinking they were going to use him. He's on the practice squad.
Oh, what is the point of that, you know?
Don't know.
That's annoying.
Isn't that a shame? He's actually a good back.
Oh, yeah. He was a really good back at in Seattle.
You got Swift, Scott, and what's the third back? He's not the third back anymore. He put somebody else there. I saw that the other week, and people were like, what is the point of having him if you signed him and not going to use him? What is the point?
That's exactly.
He doesn't even have 100 rushing yards.
That's why I'm like, why did the Dolphins sign JPP? He didn't even use them.
Yeah, he's now probably going to be a Hall of
Like, what
Famer. All right, buddy.
Frankie, it's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, it's good to get up with you. It's been a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Next Sunday, week 18, there could be a lot of stuff going on.
Could be a lot going on after tomorrow, too.
Absolutely.
Go Birds, go Fins.
Go Fins, go Birds. Everybody, thank you so much for constantly tuning in to the Huddle Pod. You got X, Instagram,
YouTube.
TikTok, YouTube. Go follow them. Go follow Frankie. Fins up. Just want you to take it off. Frankie did tell me if the Eagles do make the Super Bowl and they win, he will stream shirtless.
You wish. Here's what I'll do. If we both go to the Super Bowl, I will paint my body green. And then the back of it in blue will say, "Suck on this ass," with the arrow pointing down.
Okay. If the Dolphins and Eagles get to the Super Bowl, I'll do the same thing. I'll paint my face. I'll paint my body. And then I'll say, "Suck on these." And then
Fin up. It's good talking to you, buddy. I'll be texting you. Hopefully the line's pulled
Absolutely.
out tonight. Like you said, this is the Huddle Podcast.
Thank you guys. Much love.